She looked calm, intelligent, soft-spoken, sitting in a courtroom taking notes, smiling at the jury. But behind that composed face was one of the most shocking criminal cases the world had ever witnessed. A case filled with obsession, deception, and a crime so calculated that it stunned investigators, the media, and millions watching around the globe. This is not a story of a sudden mistake. This is the story of planning, lies, and a woman who refused to let go. This is the true story of Jodi Arias, a name that became synonymous with one of the most infamous crimes of the 21st century. Jodi Ann Arias was born on July 9, 1980 in Salinas, California. On the surface, her life appeared ordinary. She grew up in a large family, struggled with direction in her early adult years, and jumped between jobs without a clear future. Friends described her as quiet, artistic, and somewhat reserved, but also emotionally intense. Jodi often sought validation and feared abandonment, a trait that would later play a crucial role in the events that followed. By her mid-20s, she was searching for purpose, identity, and love, without realizing how dangerously far she would go to hold on to it. In 2006, Jodi Arias met Travis Alexander at a business conference. Travis was charismatic, confident, and deeply religious, a motivational speaker who inspired those around him. The two quickly formed an intense bond. Their relationship was passionate but unstable, filled with emotional highs and devastating lows. While Travis began distancing himself, Jodi struggled to accept the separation. Even after the romantic relationship ended, they remained entangled emotionally and psychologically. For Jodi, the breakup was not the end. It was the beginning of an obsession. In June 2008, Travis Alexander was found dead in his Arizona home. Investigators immediately knew this was not a random act. Evidence pointed to someone Travis knew well, someone he trusted. The crime scene told a complex story of planning rather than impulse. As detectives reconstructed the timeline, all signs began pointing toward Jodi Arias. She had traveled across states, rented a car, and left behind a trail of contradictions. What shocked investigators most was not just the crime, but the level of preparation behind it. When questioned, Jodi Arias didn't tell one story, she told several. First, she claimed she wasn't present. Then she blamed unknown intruders. Later, she introduced an entirely new version of events. Each explanation contradicted the last. Investigators compared phone records, receipts, and photographs, many of which Jodi herself had unknowingly preserved. The more she spoke, the more the truth closed in. This wasn't confusion. It was deception. The trial of Jodi Arias became a media phenomenon. Millions watched daily as she testified for hours, often appearing confident, articulate, and emotionally controlled. But prosecutors methodically dismantled her narrative. Evidence painted a clear picture of premeditation. The courtroom became a stage where psychology, manipulation, and truth collided. For many viewers, the most chilling part was not the evidence but how calmly Jodi delivered her testimony. After months of testimony, the jury reached its decision. Jodi Arias was found guilty of first-degree murder. The verdict confirmed what investigators had long believed. This was not an accident, not self-defense, and not a crime of passion. It was planned, calculated, final. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. A chapter closed, but the impact of the case would remain etched in public memory. The story of Jodi Arias forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about obsession, control, and how appearances can deceive. This was not a stranger hiding in the shadows, but someone trusted, familiar, and emotionally involved. The case continues to be studied in criminal psychology, media ethics, and courtroom strategy. It reminds us that the most shocking crimes are not always loud. They are often hidden behind smiles, calm voices, and carefully constructed lies. Jodi Arias will spend the rest of her life behind bars, but the questions her case raised still linger. How well do we truly know the people closest to us? And how thin is the line between love and obsession? This was the true story of a woman who shocked the world and a crime that will never be forgotten.